Hi there, everyone. As you can see, I have a new review for you, and it's on the infamous Mark Vargas PowerPoints. Yes, this is an older version, but hey, let's get started. I just wanna wake up every day here in this bed. And now what you'll see is just like every other resource that you'll find out there to study for your TMC respiratory board exam. Is everyone's covering what first? Those life functions. Why? Because it's very important. It's very important when you're trying to decide what is the first step that you take with your patient. What is that first treatment option that would be best for your patient? And they want you to be able to understand what life function the patient is struggling with, and out of those life functions, which one would you tackle first? And we all see ventilation is going to be that one you tackle first, and then they show you the different then he lists the different characteristics or features that you'll look for to help you learn about that person's ventilation. And the same thing for oxygenation and circulation and perfusion. And like I said, this is an outdated version. I know he does have a newer version out there. So just like this has a new critical NBRC changes, this is outdated but still useful. So his PowerPoints are more concise and they hit the most important points. He's not going to drag it out like how you see in Kettering and all the others. He's just going to be like, hey, you need to know about x-rays. These are the x-rays that have been popping up on the last few exams that many people have taken. This is a common question, or this is a common topic. So cover this topic on ABGs, or just that's how he focuses his PowerPoints, on the most important sections and information. He's concise. So he starts off, when he really gets into it, talk about mechanical ventilation troubleshooting, which we all need to know. So I'll show you the next section so you guys can. He even goes through and does what Kettering does, where they teach you about how to really read the question, being careful about what your question is asking you, stopping for a minute and asking yourself, what is it that they're asking me to do? Because a lot of us are quick. We read it really quick and we give a quick answer, not knowing that they're asking us something so simplistic. Because I know one question on there that the exam asks about, once you intubate a patient, what's the first thing you're going to do? And I believe it gives you the choice of like, A, are you checking for breath sounds, or B, send them for x-ray, C, something else. And what's the first thing you're going to do as a respiratory therapist? If it's not checking for breath sounds, or if it's not putting that CO2 detector, to make sure placement is correct, then it's wrong. All right. So those are mechanical ventilation. He kind of helps you. He concises the information really quick. Then he'll break the information down to help you understand by giving you questions and testing you to see if you clearly understand that, dude, you need to slow down what you're reading. And secondly, this is what this information is trying to tell you. And thirdly, go back and look at that pathology. Because a lot of these questions you cannot answer if you do not know the disease process. All right. Next, talking about compliance. Correcting auto peep. This is very important. Let me tell you, I had like 4 or 5 questions for mechanical ventilation about auto peep. I know everyone's exam is different, so I would say really hold on that. And of course, troubleshooting. Boy, we have troubleshooting questions. So, like I said, with Mark's PowerPoints, they are concise. Very concise, very straight to the point. He must have interviewed tons of people after they took their exams, figured out what was the common areas where people either struggled at or the common things that people saw on their exams as far as questions and topics. And guess what? He designed PowerPoints that outlined it all. So if Kettering doesn't work for you, if Lindsay Jones doesn't work for you, if no other resource works for you, then Mark's PowerPoint and possibly RT board review, which I give like 3 thumbs up for, will definitely work for you. All right. I'm trying to scroll through and let y'all see 2 more sections. I had one question about that. And this beautiful chart. If you do anything before you go in that test, learn this chart, because there is always this question about this chart. So if you know if you got a photographic memory, then cool, glance over. If you don't, practice it so many times so that you have it on paper. And once you get into that testing room, they give you that scrap piece of paper and they give you that pencil. Draw that shit real quick. So that whenever that question comes, you can always go back to your scrap piece of paper and answer those questions. Because let me tell you, pulmonary function will be on that test. All right. Last one. Patient assessment. Everyone has patient assessment. You think we should stop in patient assessment? And nah. Sorry, I'm scrolling so fast, guys. If you have to pause so you can see certain questions, then pause. Do what you have to do. Last but not least. Alright. This section helped so much because I struggle with the x-rays. You know, I can't say I won't even lie. I struggled. Shit. I struggled with them. Like, I did. Alright. You see, the ones that he's showing within his PowerPoint, let me tell you, they are very similar to what appears on the exam. So when Mark goes into his explanation on these x-rays, pay attention. I mean, pay close attention, because there's going to be a question 2 or 3, 4 or 5 that is pertaining to a patient and something about their x-rays. And if you cannot read these x-rays, or you don't know about these key characteristics or features and what disease process they pertain to, well, guess what? Mark's PowerPoints are going to teach you that real quick. So take it from me, his PowerPoints are pretty good and pretty concise. You know, they're not as detailed as the Kettering book. And I swear, people swear by Kettering, but everyone's different. So like I always tell you, figure out what works for you. Learn your learning style. If you're a PowerPoints person, Mark's PowerPoint is for you. If you're more so if you need to sit there and read, then maybe Kettering is the way to go. If you're one of those people who likes the visual and audio, then, you know, you have the choice of Kettering. You have the choice of Lindsay Jones. If neither one of those work, then you always have RT board review. But you have options, guys. You really do. Alright, so this is the end of my review for Mark's PowerPoints. Like I said, if you have to pause to read some of the information to figure out if you want to go out there and buy it, then do it. Do it. Because I'm trying to save you guys money so that you don't end up being like me and having all these resources, you know, and only one truly worked for me. But that's because of my learning style. So based on my learning style, RT board review did wonders. And then when it came for our assimilation exam, then that's where Jana did well, because she helped break down the information. She helped make the connections. And we all know from school, they're always going to talk about critical thinking and making connections. So the next review is going to be on Jana. So look forward to that, because I'm going to sit in, not for a long time, for probably about for 5 or 10 minutes for one of her review sessions, so that you can see what I'm talking about as far as her reviewing these test questions, how she breaks it down, how we as students we're so into all this information from the book, and when it's all jumbled up in our head, and guess what? She's like, I get that you have all this information. Well, let me help you organize it. and as she's helping you organize it, she's helping you make this connection to the patient as you're organizing this information, and it clicks. It's like this little light bulb comes on and it just clicks. And hopefully it'll click for one of you. If not, then cool too. But that'll be the next video. Hope you guys like this. Peace and love. RT, Naturalistic Cutie, and I'm signing off.